Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Miller Lite Virtual Happy Hour. I'm Matt Shepard, play-by-play voice for the Detroit Tigers for Fox Sports Detroit. This is going to be an absolute blast. Be ready to laugh, be ready to giggle, and I hope people have thick skin because our guests tonight will be ripping on one another quite a bit because they've grown up in professional baseball with one another. We invite you to sit back, relax, and do what I'm going to do here. I'm going to open myself a Blue Moon, pour it into my Tigers cup, okay, and my Tigers cup as usual, and drink a beer and enjoy for the next hour a discussion with some of the bright young arms and one of the bright young faces for the Detroit Tigers. Jake Rogers will join us on the other side. Get your questions ready. We invite you to join our chat room. Give us those questions. I'll read them to Jake and some of the brightest young arms in all of professional baseball when we come back right after this. All right, back with you on the virtual happy hour on this beautiful Thursday throughout the great state of Michigan and wherever you may be watching us on this Zoom participation type of opportunity for you to talk with Jake Rogers. And a little bit later on, we will hear from Alex Faedo, Matt Manning, and Casey Mize as well. And I know, look, a lot of people have already said, wait a minute, you're drinking a Blue Moon on a Miller Lite virtual happy hour? Yeah, I am, because Miller Lite produces this wonderful beer. So I'm pretty excited about it to have a couple with you on this Thursday night and excited to welcome in our first guest of the evening, a guy who last year made his major league debut, played 35 games, went yard 4 times, and is the catching future for the Detroit Tigers. He is Jake Rogers. So let's welcome into the virtual happy hour brought to you by Miller Lite, Jake Rogers, number 34. Hi, Jake. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing, Shep?
Good. What have you been up to? What's it been like for you in this offseason, and how has it changed, if at all, from years gone by as you get ready for a year?
Oh, man, it's been good. It's been good. Crazy times right now, but before this all hit, it was good. It was going in, working on stuff, and trying to get ready for this upcoming season. And whenever this happens, get it going and get it going well.
When we talked about the 4 home runs that you hit in your major league first season. It's 35 games, and it's not a full season, obviously. What was it like for you? I mean, what were the nerves like as you were leading up to that game in Los Angeles against the Angels? And when you hit your first home run, describe that feeling for us.
Man, it was crazy. I didn't really at the time when I got the news that I was going there and was on the plane there, I was kind of freaking out. But once I got there, I had a bunch of interviews. I had family there, and I didn't really have time to think about it. And really, I think, helped me do well that game and the next game and leading up to that home run. But the next game, I was being pretty patient the first game, and I knew the second game that they were probably going to try to get ahead early. And sure enough, he grooved a fastball, and I went yard left field. So it was a really good feeling and something I won't forget for sure.
Folks, remember, you can ask questions of Jake Rogers and any of our guests tonight on the Zoom Q&A function. So feel free, jump on board, and we'll get them to Jake as soon as we possibly can. One of my favorite moments last year, Jake, was after you made your debut, to go down to the clubhouse level and see the support you had from your family, your brother, the embraces that you had. I still have pictures on my phone about those. It's obviously your family's very close. Describe what they've meant to you over your years of
Oh
progress.
man, it's hard to put in words how much they mean to me, and you know, I can't really put in words, but they've been there throughout the whole process, and I'll never forget them. You know, we've been super close ever since I was little. Family's been a huge part of my life and will always be a huge part of my life. And, you know, once that game was over with and go down there and see all those faces, and, you know, it was a really, really happy moment, and I'm glad that they could be there for it.
We're going to see some guys a little bit later on in this chat that you're very familiar with. Matter of fact, you lived with a couple of them in Erie a year ago. Who's the messiest roommate you've had, and who's the cleanest you've had?
I'd say messiest out of Manning and Faedo. I'd probably say Manning is the messiest, and Faedo is the cleaner one of the two.
And are you cleaner than both?
Yeah.
Okay. So you realize what the perception is of catchers, right? I mean, you're down in the dirt, you're down in the muck. It's like an offensive lineman in football, right? So one would assume that you're almost the pig pen of the group, but that's not the case.
No,
Okay.
not at all. I mean, I have my fair share, but I'm pretty clean out of those two guys. I did my fair share cleaning in the ballet studio in Erie. So I did my fair share of cleaning. So
you guys lived above a ballet studio, huh? What was that
did.
like? What was that like?
It was fun. I mean, it was a loft above it in Erie, near the park, and it was pretty fun. You know, those guys are two great guys, and we get along really well. So, you know, having those guys there, I think, really helped it be a lot.
Have a great question from Rootless Drifter, and you can join us, by the way, if you just click on this Zoom and you click on the Q&A session there. How do you read hitters' stances? How do you do that as a catcher?
It's just something that you kind of just learn as you go. You know, growing up, I've kind of caught since high school, and a little bit in high school and a lot in college, and then obviously a lot in pro ball. And you see guys, and some guys have open stance, which means that they might still fly open. Some guys start open and end closed, and there's just a bunch of little things you kind of learn as you go, and a lot of repetition helps with that.
Let's welcome in one of your old roommates, a former first-round pick of the Tigers, 2017, number 18 overall. Let's welcome in Alex Faedo, who is still trying to figure out which cap to wear for this chat. He is. If you want to stay loose, you want to have a smile, you want to have some fun, you want to laugh. Alex Faedo seems like the kind of guy that would do just that. Do you pride yourself on keeping people loose? Because you're that kind of guy.
That's a lot of pressure. I feel like I'm just trying to, you know, have a good time with the boys, you know, create good relationships, and we can all have each other's back on the field. And I think that all comes down, you know, the locker room and, you know, before and after games.
So Jake says you're the cleanest of the roommates. How would you describe Jake as a roommate?
Well, Jake was a great roommate. He's the dad of the room. It was a little weird, our dynamic there in here. Me and Matt lived in the living room in a 3-bedroom apartment. So Raj had the master bedroom, and me and Matt's bedrooms were both very small. So we just decided to put our mattresses in the living room and put a projector in the living room. And Raj gave us a lot of crap about that all the time. But, hey, we're team chemistry.
How does that happen? How does that happen, Jake? Do you flip a coin? I mean, how did that work? Did you have a double-sided
quarter?
You know,
I honestly, I kind of pulled seniority on that because I
stole it. He stole it. I called dibs on it too. I was like, "That's mine." And then he was like,
I lived there the year
he was
before.
like, "Oh,
so
I've been to Erie before." I was like, "All right, you're the catcher. I got you, bro. You're there."
Well, did he pull the I play every day stuff, and you're just pitching every fifth day? Is that what he did?
No
I might have heard something about that, but I can understand that catch and grind is tough.
No chance. Putting words in my mouth.
Alex, if I ask you and Casey Mize, and Jake's a big football guy too. He's from Texas, right? So he loves – I'm not going to bring up any Tulane quarterbacks. I'm not going to do that.
No. He's a Texas Tech fan too for football.
Okay. All right. So what quarterback slings it around the best? When you guys were growing up, you guys love other sports. I love talking other sports with you guys. Is it Tim Tebow for you, Alex, because of the Florida connection? Jake, who would it be in Texas? Would it be a famous Texas quarterback, a TA&M quarterback? How would that work? Who would you guys argue over?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a big Tim Tebow fan. I don't know if I would say he's slung it around the best, but he's
Chris
a great
Leak?
quarterback.
Would it be Chris Leak since he won the championship with you guys, right?
Yeah, he did. Man, I mean, I don't know if either of those guys are the prototypical quarterbacks. They just run the spread offense very well now.
Okay.
Now Raj got to see a lot of good QB play. Maybe not as big of names, but being a Texas Tech fan and growing up over there, he got to see the air raid offense.
Right.
I don't remember the quarterback that threw that pass to Crabtree, but that guy was pretty good.
Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell was when I was growing up. I was about the right age. Both my brothers and my family went to Texas Tech, so we were at a lot of the games and we saw a lot of those. But Mike Leach and Graham Harrell and Crabtree were the right. Graham Harrell was the man around Tech around that time.
What about Vince Young at Texas and Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M?
Those guys are freaks.
We don't talk about Texas.
Oh, those guys are freaks. I'll appreciate
we don't talk about those guys.
So that's similar to maybe Alex doesn't talk about Florida State, so he's not going to go with Charlie Ward. Is that what you're telling me? It's that kind of rivalry to a certain extent?
I mean, I haven't seen – I mean, Christian Ponder is pretty good, but I haven't seen any Florida State quarterbacks do too well in the league, just saying.
Yeah. Well, but if you win a Heisman like Charlie Ward, there's something to be said for that, right? You can respect that.
That's a hell of an accomplishment.
So Alex, I was asking Jake what he's been doing in the offseason. What have you done this offseason that might be different from offseason pasts?
I think really just each offseason I learned my body a little bit better, how it moves, how early I should get ready for spring training. I'm a guy that likes to throw a lot, and I think I need some extra bullpens. Like Manning rolls out of the bed and doesn't have to throw for 3 days, and he can still throw the ball as hard as anyone. I mean, Casey's got his routine. I have to throw all the time. So I'm a guy that I think I started even earlier this year, which didn't really do much for me since I'm still just tossing and throwing bullpens. But no, I think just learning about myself, going into spring training, my changeup was still real hard, and that was something I tried to really work on. But since quarantine, I've actually been able to slow that down a lot, which is really nice. So I just want to see that in game action.
Yeah, you told me that I think in Lakeland that you wanted to try and slow your changeup down and get more swings and misses. How do you do that? And how do you work with Jake on trying to make sure you're on top of it the way you want to be? Yeah,
I mean, Raj is really good about I feel like I don't get in my head too much. I think POs are a little crazy, but he doesn't question anything. So if I throw a changeup hard and guys are swinging and missing, I'm getting outs, he'll be like, "Yo, dude, stop worrying about it. Don't even think about it. Just keep throwing it. It's doing something." So that's always good to maybe I'm not doing what I want, but at the same time, I can still have confidence and trust that because Raj has caught so many good arms. Big league catcher now. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, Jake, I remember going down to Erie last year. Actually, you guys, Erie was playing a team just outside Cleveland. And we're talking to a lot of these guys, and they all talked about the confidence they have in you. What does that mean to you when all these guys rarely shake you off?
Oh, it means a lot.
Gosh, don't get that started. Do not get the shake off started.
It means a lot.
Steph, come on, man.
It means a lot. That's the biggest part of the battery and that relationship, is them having trust in me because, the pace of the game, everything kind of flows off us. So, if you don't have that confidence in your catcher, the pace of the game slows down. You get a lot of shakes. Kind of stuff slows down, slows the defense down, slows the game down. So, having that is huge. And it takes time. And, with those guys, I've caught them a little bit. So, having that confidence in me, it means a lot.
Raj means to tell you that every time I shake him, I give up an extra base hit. So he might not say it, but he's a big I told you so. Like, he'll just come out to the mound real quick and, like, subtly and just be like, told you not to shake me. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's not what I want to hear. He's always getting on me about that.
It's gone the other way, too.
Are there ever any jokes given back and forth? Any funny one-liners, any zingers to try and loosen somebody up when you go to the mound?
Different guys are different. Fade's really serious. He's a competitor up there. So sometimes I'll throw in something that is just completely random, like, what are we having for dinner? Or, how bad do you think the spread's going to be after the game?
Oh gosh, right bad.
Stuff like
it's probably
that.
Outback.
But it's good. Different guys are different, but me and Fade, I'll joke around every once in a while. He'll blow me off and not laugh, but I know deep down he heard it.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right, I got a question from Justin on the chat. What are your expectations for your first full year of MLB baseball? Both of you guys.
Raj, you got
full
it.
year.
Oh, it's gonna be great. I mean, we're excited as soon as this stuff gets going. For me, I got my feet wet a little bit last year for those 35 games, and I learned a lot from those guys up there. So I'm just really excited to get back with the guys, hang out with the guys, be around baseball, and have the guys that have been up there and guys that are coming up, and should be a hell of a time.
All right, before we bring in our next guest, I'm going to ask you guys to see how well you know Matt Manning. Where do you think he is on this Zoom call when we come when we bring him in? Where do you think?
Oh, I mean, that's not fair. I got to talk to him on FaceTime already. So, Raj, you could take your guess.
If I had to guess, I'd probably say Zaxby's. Big Zaxby's guy, so he's probably in the Zaxby's dining room having some chicken and
on a basketball court, always grinding.
Yeah,
he's such an athlete.
Panda Express.
All right, let's see, because he's a hip dude. Let's see where he's at. Let's welcome in Matt Manning, who was first round in 2016, 9th overall pick in the draft, and he joins us right now. Hi, Matt. How are you? And where are you right now?
Hey, what's going on? I'm hooping.
Yes, you are.
I'm taking a break.
All right. That keeps your cardio in shape, right?
Yeah,
Basketball
cardio,
team,
hand-eye coordination, just being an athlete,
Yeah, being an athlete. How's your brother doing? Because your brother played at Air Force, right? How's your brother doing? He's in the Air Force.
He's good. He graduated 2 Decembers ago. Now he's just working in finances at the Air Force base in Manhattan Beach.
Fantastic.
So he's living life.
I heard, but from a source, I heard you're not the cleanest roommate. I heard you're a little messy. Is that true? And if so, how do you defend yourself?
Well, I shared a room with Alex, so my mess is his mess. So, I mean, come on now.
We did a good job. I will say that.
Point.
For one room, we did a very good job.
And we didn't cook, too, either. So, I mean, the house is clean.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, we had ribs everywhere.
Oh,
so you guys are not cooks? You guys don't cook, huh?
No, my uncle makes a mean batch of ribs, though.
Yeah. They give us a lot of food at the field, so we're good. We're good to go.
Okay. All right. Copy that. I got a question. My son is this is from our chat room. My son is a 12-year-old player who loves to practice and play the game. When's the right time to focus on showcase tournaments? When were you guys all first getting discovered at some of those showcase tournaments when you were young, fellas? Matt, why don't you go first? Yeah.
Me? But yeah. I was late. I didn't start pitching seriously until my junior year of high school. So maybe going into my junior year, I did a few showcases, but okay. I don't think there's a right time. I think, whatever your situation is and whatever you think is right for yourself. I've always been a fan of playing multiple sports, but everyone's different. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it could hurt to go to some showcases, especially if you're working and you're playing hard or you're practicing and, you're working very hard. Like, I think that you want to go out there and see how good you are compared to the other guys at your age. So, like, I mean, it's only going to give you either, dang, I'm like ahead of the curve and I can keep working and, do something special, or like, man, I got to really, kick it into gear because some of these guys are way better than me. So it might just be, good to just start doing it. But at the same time, just remember, like, those showcases are very selfish and just, like, go out there and don't forget, like, it's still a team sport.
That's right.
Jake, how about you?
I grew up in West Texas, and not many schools or scouts can go out there. So I, starting in high school, I went and played in Dallas at an early age for D-Bat Mustangs every summer in high school, just to try to get exposure, because most of the scouts and teams scout here in Dallas or in Houston, because that's where the majority of the players from Texas come from. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to I had a lot of help from my older brothers, and I just got out of West Texas and did what I could to get seen.
How often are you guys being asked by people to take a look at their sons or daughters and gauge on whether or not they can be a pro? Do you guys ever get approached by that?
Yeah, I used to more, like, in college. Kids would not, like, about their sons or daughters, but, like, kids in, like, middle school or high school would send, like, over video or something. And I'm definitely not the guy to ask about mechanics, but I try to do my best to, reply and help some people out.
Matt, you ever get that? Anybody come up?
No, not usually. No, I'm still trying to make it myself. So, I mean, I'll take a look at somebody however I can, but no, not usually.
Okay. Jake, when somebody says get some tips for young catchers, what do you tell them?
Man, I tell them to have fun. And, I mean, catching's a position you have to enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, then you're not going to like it later on, because it just it's a lot of work. But if you really enjoy it back there, it's a fun position because you're always a part of it, and part of the play, always touching the ball. You're always one with the game. So I just tell them to really enjoy being a catcher, and that's one of the big things, because if you don't, it's hard to keep going.
Mm-hmm. This one's from Matt, and it's for Matt Manning. What MLB and NBA players did you idolize growing up? Now, I think I know the NBA one, but I'm not going to give it away. Who are those?
No.
How would you answer that?
To be honest, no, I don't really idolize players, because when I was younger, I always wanted to be pro, and I would never want to get pro and been like, man, I idolized that guy because I knew I had to play against him. Yeah. So I just took stuff from people's games, but I never idolized anybody.
But you and I had a conversation. The death of Kobe Bryant meant a lot to you, because he was one of those guys who, I mean, he was one of your favorite players, right? So for sure.
I mean, Kobe, just like to a lot of people, man, everything's, and when his passing, really just showed like it was how he's a great player, and he was just he was the GOAT, so it was crazy.
Alex, anybody that you followed and that you idolized to a certain extent?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go. So my dad coached high school, and I got to play 1 year, but see 3 years of Jose Fernandez play. So to be able to sit back and go from this short, little, pudgy kid that was the laziest guy on the team to watching to see how a guy worked, how hard he worked, and how much he cared about the game and how he competed was a big eye opener for me.
Jake, did you have to idolize a catcher, or was there somebody else that caught your eye that you wanted to be like?
Oh, man, I idolize catchers. I mean, my brothers love Griffey. So, I mean, my brothers have a huge influence on me. So I loved Griffey. As far as catchers, Pudge. I loved Pudge, and I loved Joe Mauer. But I idolized a lot of different people. Like, kind of like Matt said, I when I was growing up, I looked at a lot of different video and tried to take stuff from each guy that I liked, whether it was the Molina brothers or Pudge or Joe Mauer or anyone and anything. So it was, but those are probably the two main catchers.
You want to join us and you want to join the conversation on the Miller Lite Virtual Happy Hour, feel free. Just join the chat room and click on that Q&A question down there in the lower right hand of your computer screen, and we'll make sure we get your question on the air if we can. Let's bring in the first overall pick from 2018, fast riser. He is Casey Mize, and he joins us. Hi, Casey. How are you today?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Join the fun, man. I mean, these guys are having an absolute blast. We found out that Matt Manning's the messy roommate. Alex Faedo is the neat roommate. You're married now. How do you balance the guy type things that you want on the wall that you used to have on the wall, and your wife tells you, no, I want flowers and something a little bit better for our decor?
Yeah, it's definitely a balance. This is kind of like my game room, so I kind of have stuff hung up on the walls here, but I don't really have much say throughout the rest of the home. So I take what I can get, and I kind of do what I want with this room. But other than that, I don't have much say.
I'll ask you the same thing I asked Matt and Alex and Jake. What have you been doing during this pandemic, and how much are you itching to get back?
Yeah, definitely itching to get back. I mean, I think all of us are. I think all the, players want to get back and fans want to see baseball again. So hopefully that can happen soon. But man, I've just been trying to stay ready, with the facilities that I had access to. I know that was pretty tough early on, but just trying to train as much as possible. Just spend some quality time with, my wife and, some family when I'm able to go see them. So, just trying to pass the time any way I can. But, I'm definitely ready to get back out there.
For all you guys, is it tough to, I don't want to say stay motivated, but it can be challenging for me to get that constant workout in on a day-to-day basis. My 21-year-old son keeps me going. How do you guys find that inner push to keep working out when you feel like you should be in the middle of a baseball season? Jake, why don't you start us off with that?
Yeah, it's definitely different. We're used to playing right now and lifting once, maybe twice a week. So it's definitely different right now. But, I don't know about these guys, but I'm bored most of the time. So when I'm bored, I just go lift in the mornings and get that out of the way and just do something, because most of the time I'm either here sitting down playing some PlayStation or grilling out on the Traeger or trying to find something to do, something to clean or something. So, for me, it's just getting bored and going out there and actually just doing something and staying athletic.
Alex, how do you get that motivation continuing?
Yeah, I just think there's going to be a lot of people like around baseball that take this time to kind of stall and not do what they're supposed to. And I think that, all these guys in this chat right here have been able to, consistently grind because we know the opportunity we have ahead of us and we know like what we want to accomplish as a team. So like, I don't want to let these guys down and not give my best every day to try to get better. Now, granted, there are some days where I'm like, damn, just get me out on the baseball field. Yeah. But like, we know it'll come again, so we'll get there.
Matt, how challenging has been the routine for you?
I think it's just that. It's challenging, but staying in a routine has helped me, knowing my lifts are, knowing my throwing is. Every time I pick up a ball, I just want to get better. And also thinking about, what Casey's doing, what Alex is doing, what Jake's doing has helped me, get through my lifts. And other than that, just trying to stay out of the house and play as much golf as I can.
Oh, nice. All right. What's your best round of the summer so far?
84.
Oh.
84?
84, no drops, legit.
Okay.
When was that today?
There's a couple mulligans in there.
No mulligans. No mulligans, no breathless balls, 84.
Okay. Wow.
He took 2 6s.
Hey, if he shot an 84 and 2 6s, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. He just talked to me on the week. We FaceTimed today about it.
All right. So who's the best golfer? Who's the best golfer on the team?
Probably me.
I don't know. I think if I played Matt, I'd get
pretty humble there. Pretty humble response there.
Yeah, I get in his head a little bit. He's not shooting an 84 when I'm playing with him. I'll tell you that. He might beat me, but it's more like 104.
Why? Are you a chirper? Is that what you're doing? You're constantly challenging for 5 foot putts and stuff.
There's one guy that can get in my head.
I'd be inside Matt's head.
There's one person that can get in my head.
It's only Alex Faedo can get him in
only
my
Alex
head.
It's only me.
Okay. Well, if you're playing golf, Casey, are you a golfer?
I'm not. No, I've never really got into it.
All right. Do you think you might get into it one day? I mean, with Alex and Matt playing, and Jake plays a little bit, and I know Matt Boyd plays a little bit. Do you think that's something you might take up?
Honestly, probably not, man. When I get done at the field, like I don't want to be outside anymore. Like I really just kind of like want to come inside and kind of hang out. And that doesn't mean sit on my butt and do nothing. I've gotten into pool. I have a pool table here at the house, so
nice.
I play a lot of pools. But I like to be inside in the air conditioning and not have to go out and sweat any more than I have to. So I don't know if golf's going to be in my future, but we'll see. Right. Anything can change.
All right, I got you. So billiards is it. Matt, if you could put together your best foursome, who would be the other 3 golfers playing with you?
Matt, Zim.
With the Tigers?
Zim.
Oh,
no, it could be anybody. You pick anybody.
I'll stick with the Tiger. Zim
Zim.
for sure. I want Zim there.
Why? Why Zim?
There.
Why Zim?
And my third, I love seeing Bo Burrows have a good slice.
He's brutal.
What's the point? What's the point of having Jordan Zimmerman in there?
Because he's my guy.
That guy's the best.
That's my dad.
So Shep, me and Matt we luckily got invited. Hopefully we get to keep this invitation. Zim asked us to go hunting with him at the end of the year.
Nice.
So we
Which
definitely
is scary. Let me mind you, that's scary.
Hey, Faye, what is he gonna do to us?
Now there's a good chance that we think he's gonna hunt us. But it'll be an experience regardless.
He's gonna send us out the woods and be like, "Hey, I'll be back in 30 minutes."
Yeah, good luck.
He's leaving them out there?
Oh no, there's no doubt. Are you guys?
They wouldn't last 15. I give them 15 minutes.
Well, Jake, you hunt, don't you? I mean,
I do.
Yeah. Okay. Do you hunt hogs? What do you hunt?
Yeah. Right now it's mainly hogs and coyotes. It helps out farmers and West. So.
All right. So why don't you invite Alex and Matt hunting with you? And
yeah,
Casey,
why not? Right?
That's scary. I mean, they can come. Hey, they can come, but hey, them with guns and outdoors. Hey, I don't know.
Hey, he's gonna give us a gun with blanks in it.
Yeah. He's gonna give us a Nerf gun.
We'll start with a BB gun and roll from there, maybe.
Alex shooting a charging nasty looking hog with a paintball gun. Are you guys Alex and Matt, are you guys gonna go bow hunting or gun hunting with Zim?
We were thinking about going out there
whatever he gives
here and the dogs. Take it like a real man.
Yeah. Okay.
Take the dogs out.
Some dogs and a knife, huh?
Yeah, that's all we need.
That sounds like a blast, to be honest with you. We'd love to bring a camera.
Whatever Zim thinks, whatever he thinks, that he's going to have to help us with that.
I'd love to bring a camera along for that. So, Alex, Matt gave us his foursome on the golf course. Who would be your foursome on the golf course?
Oh, I mean, Matt would be there. Zim would be there. And then Billy's got to be there, too. I think that would round it out. We'd have a
Billy Ledger.
I don't know how Zim plays. He's got some years of experience in the league. So he's had some days of golf, and I figure, but I think that'd be just a good fun day. I mean, of 18 holes.
You guys know the stories of the Atlanta Braves, right? With Smoltz and Glavine and Maddox, and how much they used to golf together and keep that competitive edge. Have you guys thought about doing that as a pitching group? Because I know you push each other as pitchers, but would you like to do something like that? Get Casey involved in the sport and maybe push each other on the golf course too?
We're trying our best.
And my clubs will be wherever I'm at.
You're hooked.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because I think my confidence would be at an all-time low. So I don't know if I'm doing that.
No. The first thing we want to get Casey on is back on Fortnite with the boys.
So
I want to.
Back
I
on
just
Fort.
can't. I want to, but I can't.
New update, new Casey.
Dr. Splitter.
Yeah, Dr. Splitter might be back. I'll try, but I don't
add Dr. Splitter on Epic, fans.
Oh, come on. Don't put that on there.
What, you don't want to play with your fans?
No, I made a new one so like people wouldn't know because they found Casey Mize, and then I was like, but now it's gonna be out there. But
you didn't tell me about the new one. That's kind of messed up.
No, I made one that was Casey Mize, and then Dr. Splitter was my new one, and then you got the invite to Dr. Splitter, but now
there's
we
some
just
numbers
exposed
on there.
you.
It's not just exposed.
Yeah, I'm gonna make another one now.
Oh,
just add a number on it.
Who's the best video game player of you guys?
Alex. Sure.
Alex.
I'm a nerd.
You should see him yell at me when we're playing Fortnite.
Matt never builds.
You gotta build.
He never builds. Matt can has great his aim in video games is pretty good since
But my Fortnite IQ,
he's always on his phone. He's playing with one hand and he's still killing people just by shooting them. And I'm like, yo, listen, the game is about building. We have to get away from these people. And he's like, I'm just gonna stand there and shoot him. And I get sniped from another team. But we have fun. It's a great time. I get stressed.
It sounds like a blast. I mean, look, my sons play it together, so you guys can play on the same team, right? Isn't that how it works? Yeah, that's how it works. Okay.
No, we be getting dubs. Casey's got high IQ, and that's the thing is Casey brings a great extra person because he knows how to play very well. He watches a lot of it on Twitch and stuff.
Right.
But I just need him to trust the boys and get out there again.
So
I watch the best play, and then I.
So what's holding him back? What's holding you back, Casey? How come you're not involved in this anymore? What's up?
I hate to say it, but my wife doesn't really allow me to play.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, so I'm trying to keep her happy, so I haven't played in a little while.
I'm with you. Listen,
Yeah.
hey, happy wife, happy life. See,
yeah.
Matt, Alex, and Jake can't relate. I can to a certain extent. I totally understand where you're coming from. All right, a couple questions. I got to get to these chats because so many people are throwing in questions. This is for all the pitchers. Who's the toughest hitter you faced so far? We'll start with Alex. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't like to give credit out on that one just because I don't want any guy going in the box and being like, damn, this guy knows I got his number.
Carter Keyboom.
Nah. I don't fear no one out there. So, like, that's my thing. Like, yeah, I've given up homers to guys before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to throw any trash at anyone. So, I mean, I'm good with that. Matt, you're welcome to, because I know Matt will probably throw someone's name out there. Oh, I dominated this dude, even though he's
I don't know. I don't want to make anyone mad. I don't know. No comment. I got no comment.
Well, it's not who you're dominated. It's who's the toughest you had to face. I mean, there's a challenge.
Who has your number, Manny?
I don't want to say no one, but there's got to be someone out there.
Stop.
All right, I'll go. I'll
don't
say
know.
in spring, like I walked Gary Sanchez, but I have never seen a guy just like act like he had seen my stuff before I even threw it as like well as he did. It was like, even if I would have thrown strikes to him, I think, like he probably would have hit a moonshot because like, I mean, it just like out of the hand, this guy just saw everything I was throwing. So I think if I would have thrown strikes, he definitely would have had my number. So I'm kind of glad. I'm glad I walked him because he saw my stuff that goes in slow motion.
How do you tell that? How can you tell that he's seen your stuff so well? What are you watching that allows you to recognize that?
It's just how easy he's taking the pitch. I mean, if his hands aren't moving, if his feet aren't moving, if post pitch, how he reacts to it. It just seemed like he saw it immediately. I was like, no, I'm not swinging. Just say he knew it was a ball. It was just like, and there are a few pitches that I thought were pretty close. That I probably would have got swings on it, somebody at a lower level. But man, I was very impressed with how easily he saw my stuff. And then I was like, I might need to get a little better. But yeah, I think Gary Sanchez was a really good hitter.
This is a question from somebody on our chat. Actually, it's from me. How many times has Matt Manning allowed you guys on his boat?
Yeah,
Zero.
when did
Didn't
Matt
even know
get
he
a
had
boat? When did Matt get a boat?
No. It's my family's boat. It's my family's boat. It's in Sacramento.
I've never heard about this boat.
Never even heard you had a boat. Thanks
Yeah.
for the invite.
My dad's boat.
So never. We've never been invited on the boat.
Never.
You
Trust
come
me,
to
we've been.
California, and we'll go to the lake.
There you go. There's the invitation. This is a better question. How do you keep your hair so short, Matt, when all the salons have been closed? Alex's hair is pretty long. Casey's hair is pretty long. Jake's is kind of close on the side. How do you keep your hair so short, Matt?
Icy Boy Cuts, my little brother.
Really?
Yeah, look him up on Instagram. Icy Boy Cuts.
Okay.
Got that fade up.
Yeah.
Matt, I think I'm about to get faded up. I'm over this. It doesn't look. If we don't play this year, I'm never gonna have AAA time. I'm never gonna have long hair. All I want is long hair, and I can't even get AAA time.
What's up with long hair? Why do you need long hair?
I just like
He wants long hair, but
I
he
just
has to
like
cut
kind
it
of
because he has no AAA time.
You have to have AAA time in the org to have long hair or big league time. And
Is that a rule? I didn't know that.
Right when I think
I think they changed it though.
Right when I think I pitched well enough to maybe have a chance to have AAA time, baseball's ruined. Pandemic comes out. No AAA time. Never getting it.
That's fantastic. Casey, how do you throw a splitter? That's from Elijah. He wants to know. How do you throw a splitter?
Well, I just split my
Where's the
fingers
ball?
on the baseball. What's that?
Where's the
Oh,
ball? Where's
really?
the ball? We need a ball.
I know we got a ball right next to him.
I don't have a ball.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, but I just split my fingers as wide, like pretty wide, and then I just throw it just like a fastball. I kind of naturally pronate through it when I throw it like that, and then it kind of just tumbles and fades, arm side. But I just throw it as hard as I can, like a fastball, and then hopefully it's a strike or low in the zone. But I just split my fingers and throw it pretty hard. I try to at least.
You know what I love about this conversation? You guys seem like you're just really good friends. How quickly can you do that? How quickly can you grab that relationship and hold on to it just because you're in the same organization? It feels like you guys have played together for, the last 10, 15 seasons. Jake, how do you nurture that along, do you think?
Man, just being around the guys in the park, the more you're around them. I mean, obviously I've been around Faedo and Manning more just because we got thrown in the mix and lived together. But, me and Casey right off the bat, when he came to Erie, you know, we met a little bit in spring training before that, but you know, it's just, I guess, the respect that we have for each other and knowing that we're all trying to get to the same place, and makes it a little easier to get to know each other and have the opportunity to play with them, you know, is a big deal.
Alex, I get it with you because it seems like many people gravitate toward you because of your personality, but how close are these guys to you as far as friends are concerned? Because I would guess you have a ton of friends throughout all the years you play at the, you know, little league ranks and then at the collegiate ranks. But how do these guys rank as far as close friends?
Oh, these guys are my number ones. I mean, we might not talk every day like during the off season and stuff, but we pick up right where we left off when we get back to spring training. Yeah. I mean, it makes baseball so much more fun when you're grinding with the boys, and you know you got guys that want to win and want you, like, not only themselves to do well, but you to do well behind you. Like, I know Raj is catching. Like, yeah, he wants to go 3 for 3 on the day, but at the same time, like, he's rooting for me, and like that gives me, you know, confidence that, like, man, I don't want to let that guy down. I want to, like, let's do this together. But I mean, these guys are good people and they're good teammates, and like it's easy to be friends with these guys.
You know, Casey, what I think is cool is, you know, when I was growing up, I watched the Tigers of '84. They all grew up together, right? Trammell and Whitaker and Parrish and Morris and Petrie and those guys, right? It seems like you guys are growing together. Do you feel that, and how important do you think that is?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I think it's very important just to, you know, spend time with each other, learn from each other, because I think, you know, these guys have a lot to, you know, bring to the table and a lot to offer, and I want to learn about that. But then again, they're just such great people, and, you know, what you mentioned about Alex is super true. Like, people just gravitate to him, and you know, just such a good dude, and it just makes you feel much more comfortable around the whole group. But I think it's very important, you know, just to lay this foundation for, you know, what's to come. You know, you talked about the '84 Tigers, and for me, I think about like the '90s Braves. You know, how good those guys were, you know, how close they were. Like, I want the '20s Tigers to be like that. And I really think, you know, we have a good opportunity, and I think we're laying that foundation, you know, right now. And so I think, you know, for this decade, I think we can bring a lot to the table. And I think, like I said, we're laying the foundation, and we're building relationships and spending some quality time with each other that, you know, hopefully translates to the field, which I really think it will.
That's the best thing you've ever said.
Oh,
That's a really good answer, man. Really good answer.
Yeah, the '20s Tigers, patent it.
'20s.
Matt, what do you like most about hanging with these guys?
No, I think they said it all. It's like, you know, I mean, at first maybe we're feeling each other out, but once you're able to put the baseball aside and, you know, put, you know, where you come from, your egos aside, and just learn each other as people and as friends, and you can really be yourself around them and learn each other. I mean, that's the best thing. You know, I think a lot we compete with each other and help each other on the mounds, but we're a team, and, you know, if Casey does well, if Alex does well, our team does well, and our goal is to win a world championship, World Series.
Gibby wants me to ask this question to you guys. Who's the best ping pong player?
Oh, I like my chances there. We had one in college.
Me up against anybody.
I play lefty too, so I got that like natural, like, something different.
Wait, you're ambidextrous when it comes to ping pong?
I do everything.
No, he's left-handed.
My left foot besides pitch. So I don't know really why. We kind of messed that one up there, but
he's a weirdo.
So you play golf left-handed too?
No, well, I actually grew up hitting lefty, but then my babysitter switched me around because she wanted me to hit a different side of the park.
Your babysitter?
Yeah, my dad said I used to hit lefty, and then I guess like my nanny, like not my nanny, but like the daycare I'd go to when like my parents went back to work.
Yeah,
she didn't want me hitting the ball into the fence, and instead of just moving like the tee to the other side, she just switched my hands around and started. So like, and I said I don't even think I'm reaching my full potential as a hitter or golfer. I mean, I don't know, but all right, thank goodness, because I do not want to hit. Like, facing Matt and Casey would suck. Like, I don't want to face those guys. I'd rather pitch.
I agree.
I'm telling you right now, Alex Faedo could be a stand-up comic. I truly believe that. Has anybody listened? This is from Mike. Anybody listen to Miggy's rap song?
Oh,
I heard it.
I haven't heard it yet.
All right, give me your thoughts, Matt. What do you think?
I thought it was incredible. Good for him. Stepping out of the box, getting after it. I'll play it as my hype song.
I was thinking of making it my walk-up song.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Well, first you got to walk up to the plate, right? I mean, are you talking about going out to the mound?
I was thinking about the pitching part of it, but at the same time, like, we also need baseball. So I don't know. We got a few things. A few hurdles we got to go through.
Warming up that song, looking at him at first base.
Oh, I don't know anything that's being said, but I'm telling you what, it's fire.
All right. This is for everybody. This doesn't always get a lot of love, right? But who fields their position the best? Who's the best defensive pitcher out there for you?
Don't you say it, Casey. Don't you dare. Don't you say it.
Matt.
That's a good question.
What? No. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
What? Who was I going to say? Oh, me?
Yourself. I got 1,000% fielding percentage.
Yeah, I haven't made an error in like years, and I don't think I will anytime soon. But Matt is probably
nice.
Alex has been
total taste.
I'm just saying I don't believe in like all that like superstitious. Like I'm just not in on that. Like I haven't made an error. I'm pretty confident like that I won't anytime soon. If I do, it'll be embarrassing, but it's all right. It's whatever.
Yeah, like we might mess up once or twice, but I think as a group, us three are pretty good out there. Yeah. Like I remember for one time, this is kind of a weird instance, but like we were playing when Matt first got called up to AA in 2018. Me, him, and Bo all got hit by line drives from the same hitter in the same series.
Wow.
Matt got hit by a line drive, and I'm sitting up there, and Dave Littlefield says, "Man," because he gets hit by the line drive and makes the play. He goes, "You guys need to be more athletes like Matt." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, here we go again!" Like Matt's the superior athlete. So I remember the next game, I get hit by a liner, and the only thing I thought of was Littlefield saying I wasn't an athlete. So I had to run over there and make the play. And I started looking up in the stands while like Graham was like seeing if I was okay. I was like, Littlefield better be here. He better have saw that.
Robbing.
Dude, my shin was ruined for like 2 months of the off season. I didn't even care. I was like, dude, Littlefield had to have seen that on True Media or something.
He saw it for sure. He sees everything.
Yeah, no, but we actually all do a good job. Like I feel like a lot of guys don't take their PFPs seriously, like especially in the spring and stuff. But like we do a pretty good job of it, us three. So I feel like I'm confident whenever. Like it's never like, oh man, I hope they don't bunt on this guy. Like everyone's doing their job.
Hey, I wear as much Tigers gear as I can around. Do you guys wear a lot of English D around? And if so, what's the response from it?
No, I can't wear English G because I got my first training. I wore a Tiger hat to the mall, and I almost got just exposed for it in the locker room.
Why is that? From who?
I don't know. MJ, my double pitching coach tried to expose.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't wear it much around anymore. Like, I just really don't wear it. I mean, I just don't want people like, I don't know. I mean,
you just don't want to bring attention to yourself. Like,
right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only reason. I see a ton of people though, even like down here in Nashville, Tennessee, wearing Old English D, like Detroit logos. It's crazy. I'm like, oh my God, like it's everywhere. But I just don't want to bring attention to myself. But I see a lot of it around here.
I get it. Yeah. Jake, how about you?
I do wear a little bit to work out mostly, but not like around town. I don't. But to work out, I do.
All right. Matt W. wants to know, do you agree on choice of music when you're all together? That can be a tough thing, man. I mean, who's got the control of the radio in the clubhouse or in the car or wherever you guys, in the apartment, wherever you guys may be together?
Yeah, I mean, Raj always drove, so we were listening to country, like country, like not like the hip hop country. Like we're listening to country. Like I guess I like real country now. But if it's me and Matt, we just listen to some rap or something, like whatever's vibing. We kind of have the same feels. I think Casey's got like a little bit of everything, and I kind of feel like that same way too. But Raj is country. And he's got
Texas country.
He's drives, so he's got the odds.
I'm just trying to diversify my guys over there. Okay?
I get it. So just so I'm clear, nobody's a rock and roll guy on this call except for me. No one's the heavy metal. No one's the rock and roll.
No.
I respect it.
I listen to it, but the least amount.
Yeah, the old stuff I can respect, but I'm not going to.
No, listen, to each his own. There's no problem. Derek from Windsor wants to know this from you guys. What was it like to be around great Tigers like the late, great Al Kaline, Willie Horton's down there, Alan Trammell's down there. You see Kirk Gibson and Jack Morris and Dan Petrie. What's that like for you? How does that help you?
I mean, I would say it's just like it's cool just to be like those guys are legendary. I mean, honestly, like it's cool to see Tram. Like we'll be in there early in spring, like getting ready for the day. and Tram's in there every morning at 7 o'clock. You know, he just rolls in and
working.
Working. And he's still moving extremely well. You know, seeing Gibby out there, you know, he helps me whenever I'm doing the bucket. You know, during BP, he's out there just talking with me. You know, I know Willie Horton's out there a bunch. I've talked to Jack Morris, you know, a ton of times. So it's cool. I mean, it just shows you, you know, these guys still care about this organization, you know, so much. You know, they've already done so much for, you know, the Detroit Tigers, and they still want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really cool to see them around all the time.
Yeah, like they've done so much. Like some like Tram's a Hall of Famer, and like still like seeing you like pitch well and like cover your position or something like that, like brings him so much joy. Like that guy could be doing whatever he wants. He could be retired doing whatever, and he cares like what we're doing in like a high game or in like an instructional league game. Like that makes you like sit back and think like, man, like playing for this organization, something different. Like they want us to succeed so bad because like, you know, like their blood, sweat, and tears being in this organization. So not only do they have great advice, but like it's just like it's a brotherhood.
And Jake, you see Lance Parrish a lot too. I mean, he's the legendary Tiger.
I talked to him actually for the first time this spring. We got to talk for a little bit, sit down and have a good conversation. But man, all those guys are great, and they're good people too, which is unbelievable. You don't find that a lot, and you know, like Faedo said, man, they care, and it's hard to find people like that. And I mean, even now, and Willie Horton, you know, and his stories, and sitting down with him and hearing his stories, man, they're unbelievable people. And if you ever needed any sort of help and you wanted to just go and ask them a question, they would sit there for 15 minutes and answer anything you ever had or any questions. Man, it's awesome.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty cool because, I mean, being around the Red Wings sometimes, the Red Wings had the same feel before Gordie Howe passed, before Ted Lindsay passed. You see the greats stick around, and I would guess that rubs off a little bit. Casey, I asked Jake and Alex this before, and Matt, you can jump in too. You're a California guy, so I guess you'd go with Brady. But Casey and I were talking not too long about Derek Brown, the Auburn defensive tackle, hell of a player and a first-round pick. Who's the best quarterback from Auburn? Is it Cam Newton, or is there somebody who goes back a little bit further, Case?
It is Cam Newton, without a doubt. He's my guy. I am ride or die Cam Newton. That guy is the absolute best. And I am appalled that he's not on a football team right now.
I was just going to ask you that. I was just going to ask you, why isn't he on somebody's roster right now?
They're all just making mistakes. They're all just, you know, they don't want to because they knew. I mean, if you go with Cam Newton, he's a franchise-changing guy. I mean, he would just – he would just completely take over. He can take over a football game at the snap of his fingers. And I just don't understand why he's not on a team. But it's going to happen here soon. Somebody's going to pick him up, you know, thinking he's, you know, going to be a backup or whatever, and he's going to take over that team very quickly.
Hey, were you a fan of Auburn before you went there?
Yeah, I grew up an Auburn fan.
Bro, that play against LSU, that's when I knew. It was like when
every Heisman guy like has their play.
That was it. I saw that. I was like, that's it. He's won it.
He won the Heisman. And when
if I was 10 years old, I don't know. If I was like 13 years old, I should have put $1,000 on it. He was probably plus 5,000 or something. It was easy money.
Yeah. Well, the play he's talking about, like Cam drops back, it's a pass play, and it might have been a draw. I think it was a pass play. And
I don't know. He ran it though.
Yeah, he ran it. Anyways, he goes up the middle and breaks, I mean, honestly, probably 6 tackles, does a couple spin moves, moving around. And then after he's exhausted and still running, he's about out like the 30, 20-yard line. And Patrick Peterson, which, you know, we all know, is, you know, probably at the 15-yard line. And it's just a foot race. And Cam is exhausted. Patrick Peterson, obviously not exhausted, not done anything. Cam still outruns him because he's the best player, you know, obviously on the field. And he goes into the end zone, does his Superman thing. It was, I mean, at that moment, you just knew he was a Heisman winner.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson, pretty damn good player. Now, Alex would tell you, I mean, Tim Tebow won a Heisman. What was his moment there, Alex?
I mean, my biggest thing is that I'm a Cam Newton fan too because he did go to the University of Florida, but he didn't play over Tebow.
Yeah, right.
There's a huge mistake. He should have played.
Well, he got in trouble. There's some things that happened, but
allegedly.
Yeah, I think Tebow's. I mean, the play for Tebow it had to be the jump pass, even though he wasn't a starter. Like he was a freshman. Chris Leak was a starter, but the jump. I don't know why the jump pass was so cool, but it was cool. Yeah, like, everyone loved it.
Yeah, I think it's the comeback win when he's inspired his team. We're not going to lose this. It might be a moment like that.
That's his best moment, but I thought we were going best play. Yeah, best moment we got. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. All right.
It gives me chills every time.
Matt's a California guy. I would guess your dad was a Montana guy, Matt. Are you a Jimmy Garoppolo guy, a Steve Young guy? What are you a Niners guy? Are you a Raiders guy, a Chargers? What's your football fandom coming?
You know, I never really grew up a football fan, but if I had to rock with somebody, you know, I like Brady, but I like the boys too.
You like the boys as in Cowboys?
Yeah, I like the Cowboys as well.
Wow. Cowboys?
Yeah.
How does that work when from California?
My girlfriend's family is a huge Cowboys fan.
Oh, okay. There's the influence. So we were digging on Casey a little bit with his wife. Now your girlfriend is influencing your football fandom.
He's a Bucs fan now. He's a Bucs fan. He's a Brady Gronk. I got tickets for the boys are always allowed to come. We've already talked about it with Matt. He's gonna be there. We're gonna meet up in Vegas this year to see the Vegas Raiders versus the Bucs. Matt is a Bucs fan. Whatever he says.
Hey, Super Bowl's in Tampa. I'll be there.
Oh, we'll be there.
Big Super Bowl.
You guys will all be there, huh? In
January?
January?
We'll be there. It'll be right before spring training.
I won't be there.
Gotta go.
That's a beautiful thing. How much do you guys do with one another? I mean, when you guys are all together, are you guys hanging out all the time, or do you guys get, like my wife, get tired of one another a little bit?
I mean, me and Matt are pretty much stuck to each other. It's kind of crazy.
Like him and Matt are brothers, for sure, brothers.
Yeah. I think we have like our designated like what time are we doing this? What time are we doing that? I mean, we bought scuba masks to go in the hot tubs together.
Hey, our first game against the college team, we wore suits.
We did dress up pretty good. We didn't even pitch that game, but we were supporting Scuba and the boys. But I mean, we do a lot of things together. I mean, we all have our own routines, like getting ready to throw, getting ready to do our stuff, our lifting. But like, I mean, it just depends on who you live with too. Like there's only so much me and Casey can do at some points. Cause like in Erie, he lived like 20 minutes from the field and I lived 2-minute walking distance with Matt and Raj. Like we just walk home. So like, and we see each other, like Casey's at the field early. So we see him the whole time at the field from probably like 12 to like 11 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, during the game, like we spend, I mean, if we're not pitching, like if Matt's pitching, like Alex and I are sitting together, or if I'm pitching, like they're always talking or whatever, like we're always hanging out. And then like I think Raj has invited me like to dinner a few times, which I appreciate, Raj. Thank you. But like most of the time, like I spend a lot of time with my wife, but I know those guys lived together and hung out, you know, a ton. But yeah, I mean, I just go out to dinner and stuff when I can. But other than that, we spend most of our time together at the field.
Matt, how do you guys push one another? Because that's the big story, right? The big story in Lakeland was the fact that you three guys and Tarek Skubal all kind of push one another. How does that happen?
I think we just, you know, keep each other accountable. I mean, even those simplest things from PFPs or sprints, like we all try to do everything perfect and we push each other. And I think it's rubs off on the, you know, like the Zim and Matt Boyd and like the older guys. They see us working and we, you know, we'll give our 2 cents to them too. We'll you know, chirp with them and it's all good fun.
Alex just said you guys race. Who's going to win that 60-yard dash?
Matt's fast as hell, but I usually get him because I start teaming a little bit.
Every time we sprint, Alex is like, I was not put on this earth to run. I was put on this.
I was here to launch rocket baseballs.
That's right.
No, well, we keep each other accountable because we just know how good we can be, and we don't want to waste that. We don't want to waste our opportunity, our window of, you know, doing this together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I ever skip my shoulder program, Alex is the first one to walk in the locker room and be like, "You do your shoulder program?" Didn't think so. Get in there.
Yeah, that's damn right. I'm like, yo, get in the weight room, Matt. You need to work out today. Like, oh, I did my bands. I'm like, yo, Matt, listen, all right, get in the weight room. Casey probably says it. Casey's thinking about all of us because Casey's like, I've already done 2 hours of maintenance today. And I'm like, I mean, that's a great thing.
I've already rolled
like,
out my form for 30 minutes.
I get to the field 2 hours before stretch or something, like we all do. And like we're like, damn, that's really early. And I look over, I'm like, yo, where's Casey? I see his stuff here. Go to the weight room. Casey's like drenched in sweat. He's like, I've been here for like 2 hours already doing stuff. And you're like, damn, bro, like he's always working. Like this guy's already accomplished so much, and like that.
This body just doesn't move as well as y'all's. It's got to get going.
No, it's not that. My body does not move well. Like he just holds us accountable, as in like, yo, look, I've accomplished a ton, but like I'm still here like, I'm the first guy here every day. Like, I'm still working. Like, me and Matt and Raj see that, and, like, we really do appreciate it. So, like, yeah, we probably won't get there 3 hours, 4 hours early, but we're there 2 hours early, and we're getting our stuff done.
This is a good question from somebody on the chat. They said, what stat are you most proud of? I'll ask that to each one of you. We'll start with Jake. What statistic? And it could be, from you being a receiver, it could be a pitcher's statistic. So
Homers.
Is it K? Is it ERA, win, whip? What is it? Oh, it's home runs for you?
No, not home runs. Man, I don't know.
No, Rod's like stealing strikes. He always looks at the little percentage of like stolen strikes that are balls. He compares it to everyone.
Anything catching, caught stealing, any of those. That's a tough question. Good question.
That's a really good question, and it's defensive. All right, Alex, what stat are you most proud of?
Well, last year, me and Matt got in a battle with strikeouts, and we had like these horses on a wall, and we had our faces on them, and every game we move them up. And it kind of stunk because, I did everything I could to keep grinding out there. I got hurt, but I was still trying to get out there, get my innings, and Matt was like, oh, I got you now. Like, not even like, yo, are you good? Like, I think he came into Portland. He, like, came into, like, the training room. I'm, like, sitting there, like, TJ's working on my back. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I feel horrible. Matt's like, you're done. I got your strikeouts back. Matt went on, like, a stretch of going, like, 7 innings for, like, 5 straight games, which is amazing, but striking out, like, 3 guys a game. And Matt usually strikes out, like, 12 every game. So it's like, I'm like, damn, he's pitching – like just as good as anyone, but like I'm going 5 strong and getting like 8 or 9, and Matt he started slipping away. But now honestly, I'm a big fan of trying to get my innings up. Like I haven't done a good job in pro ball like I did in college, but we really do appreciate trying to get more innings so that we can save the bullpen. It's a long year and those guys get abused. We like the roster's limited, so like we're trying to eat games. Like Casey will throw like 5 pitch innings every time. So he does a hell of a job with it, but we're trying to do that. We're trying to do better at that and hopefully get our pitch counts up so then we can, maybe eat an extra inning or so, save the boys.
How about you, Casey? One of the biggest statistics I've ever read blows my mind. 159 strikeouts and only 12 walks your last year at Auburn. What's the stat that blows your mind or that you're most proud of?
Yeah, I definitely chase the innings thing like Alex mentioned. I think that's huge for the team. But personal, like, walks, like going into every season, my goal is to have more wins than walks. I almost accomplished it in my last 2 years at Auburn. Last year I didn't come very close, but that's always kind of my thing is just reduce walks. And I just want to, keep those to a premium just because so teams know that, swing the bat early. And I think that helps me get those 5 pitch innings that like Alex was talking about. Because if the team has the book on me that he's not going to walk you, so go ahead and swing. Obviously, like I'm going to give up some big hits, if they get out on something. But I can also, have a pretty good chance of going deep into the games. And so I think if I reduce walks, that inning stats go up as well.
It's a good one. How about you, Matt?
I think for me it's the same one. I think innings and just quality starts. Like if I can put as many quality starts in a row as I can, I think we'll be in a good position.
I'm going to tell you guys something. There's a lot of people a little down at times because they miss baseball. This last hour has rejuvenated me, and I think it's rejuvenated a lot of people, and I know it's gotten Tigers fans fired up. Not just because of your ability on the field, but the kind of people you are. You all seem like Midwest people. We love you. We thank you for joining us. I want you to stay safe and healthy. Make sure your family does the same. Can't wait to see you soon in Lakeland. Fellas, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, all right?
Yeah,
sounds good, Shep.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Miller Lite.
Yeah, we thank Miller Lite and Blue Moon because we're drinking it up, baby. Yeah, that's right. All right, we'll see you soon.
Go ahead.
Go Tigers.